Sometimes you gotta do that. I was fucked up, fucked up, fucked up, fucked up. I was fucked up, fucked up, fucked up, fucked up. I was fucked up, fucked up, fucked up, fucked up. I was fucked up, fucked up, fucked up. When I did it, I was fucked up, fucked up, fucked up, fucked up. I was fucked up, fucked up. I hit rock bottom, but I make no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video.
Now you see now, you done fucked up, you know that, don't you? I'm not going to call P. Diddy a bitch. 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 Sean Combs is a bitch. Yeah. Sean Combs is a bitch. They bitches too. Sean Combs is a bitch. Yeah. Sean Combs is a bitch. Yeah. You don't hit women when you're a man. You don't hit women when you're a man. P. Diddy a bitch. 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 Sean Combs is a bitch. Yeah. I'm not going to call P. Diddy a bitch or any other name like that. But I ain't gonna stop anybody else from doing it. I'm not gonna malign them. P. Diddy a bitch. P. Diddy a bitch.
Nobody knows why liars lie. Winners are not allowed to allow losers to rewrite history. It's God's side and the other side. Country bumpkin black dude that can't talk good. Okay, bitch, that look like Mr. Potato Head.
I didn't want to be a movie star.
No, you couldn't be a movie star. Ricky Smiley can't act. Cause Ricky Smiley can't act. Why is he in a dress again? He didn't be wanting to Barbie. And you gotta tell him no. Said ain't got no special, you remember. Eve ain't got no special, you remember. Ricky ain't got no special, you remember. Sir, I have 12 comedy specials. P. Diddy or whoever you is. PDJ, turn it up. And I won't stop burning you down until there ain't nothing left. Rubble on top of rubble and I'll still be bombing. Look like a wall, Richard. Look like a wall. You didn't say no. Look like a wall, Richard. Look like a wall. You didn't say no.
All right. Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning in once again to the original Queen Shakur show. I'm the host, Queen Shakur, and this is your daily vitamin. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Also, don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Dr._A_Shakur. And also on X at DGoddess27. And as per usual, you don't like what the Queen is cooking, honey. Ask yourself, why are you here? Okay, to get roasted, to get dragged by myself or the chat? Okay, so let's get into it. Reggie, all right. Goodness Reddit, Bo is here. Nessie X, Leon. Okay, Queen Sam, Pearly, Battle X, Desmond. All right, shout out to my moderators putting in work. I see you, Sandra, Truth Brown, 504. Nola is in the house. Okay, let's get into it. Nicole is here. Darnell. Darian is here. My Aunt Egypt. Okay. All right, the Lawyer Royals. There's DSB in the house. G from the land. All right, let's get into it. Okay, everybody, please do me a favor and hit that like button. I appreciate you all for your cooperation and your participation. Okay, so let's get this party started. All right, we the people. D Lovely is in the house. Okay, shout out to all of my Lawyer Royals and everyone tuned into Queen Honey. We're about to get it popping. Y'all, honey, when I tell you this story keeps getting crazier and crazier. And as I told you earlier this morning, the information that we have days ahead of everybody else comes out, and it's breaking news for them because now everybody's talking about Michelle Bundy Evans, and we had that information days ago. But we're going to get into it because Shannon's lawyer did another interview, and he had some very interesting things to say. Okay, Tony Buzbee Str8 played them. Okay, we're going to talk about it. But before we do, let's have a brief word from our sponsor at 12 Tribes, because you know we got to keep the lights on.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
Okay, so don't forget you can purchase 12 Tribes hair oil at Etsy.com. Just look for Lisa Crafts, and you can also find it at Walmart.com. Okay, now let's get into it, honey, because I absolutely cannot. Okay, I absolutely cannot with Shannon Sharpe. Hey, Mel, Queen Keisha's here, songwriter Sunny, Nessie X. All right, View Star, welcome to the chat. Okay, so let's get into it, honey, because Shannon Sharpe is doing the most. First of all, let me just say, I have a letter from one of his attorneys. Now, don't ask me how I got it, okay? I have my ways. And I told you I'm going to be having some inside scoop for y'all when it starts with Diddy's trials. Please pay attention. Now, here's what the letter says, honey. This is a statement from Shannon Sharpe's legal counsel. So it says, it should be of no surprise that when someone famous is in the news, all sorts of people crawl out of the woodwork to share their connection to that person in an attempt to profit from that alleged relationship. Now, mind you, this isn't from Lanny J. Davis, the older gentleman that I showed you all the video of yesterday. He was on Don Lemon's show. This is another one of his counsel, Mitchell Schuster. Okay, litigation counsel for Shannon Sharpe. So with that all been said, pay attention. So anyway, it goes on to say they try to profit from the alleged relationship. Now, in many cases, those stories or accusations are nothing more than old news, fanciful exaggerations, or sometimes blatant misrepresentations of fact. Now, they are shared on social media or fed to reporters with intentional factual omissions and no regard for the truth. This is obviously purposeful, designed to create a fabricated narrative. This is exactly what's happening to Shannon Sharpe, and the resurrection of the case involving Michelle Evans is a perfect example. They say the resurrection of the case. So I want y'all to pay attention because who resurrected it first? We did. Okay. Sadly, Miss Evans became obsessed with Shannon and decided to manufacture a claim against him. When she could not find a lawyer to pursue her outrageous story, she filed a civil complaint on her own that is completely devoid of merit. The fact is that Shannon has had no contact with this person for many years, and it is our understanding that she is still on probation after serving 3 years in prison for trying to kill her husband so that she could hopefully pursue a relationship with Shannon. Now, remember this morning when I was reading that article, I think it was by the New York Post or somebody, and they said that she had done 3 years in prison and was still on probation. I said, in prison for what? Because the only thing I knew she'd gotten arrested for was the DUI. But honey tried to take out her husband. It's all crazy, but let me continue. Following in Miss Evans's footsteps, Gabby, aka Carly, is the latest person trying to exploit her connection with Shannon. From the onset, Shannon has been crystal clear about the nature of his relationship with Gabby Zuniga. Okay, y'all, did y'all notice that that's kind of funny that her last name is Zuniga? Y'all, did y'all find that? Did y'all catch that? One's in the chat if you caught that. The young lady who was engaged in the race play with Shannon Sharpe, okay, that they call role playing, but we already know how they get down. Did y'all happen to notice that her last name is Zuniga? I'm sorry, say what? Y'all heard that right? Zuniga, Zuniga. And I guess Shannon was her nigga. Please pay attention. This is all crazy. You can't make it up. You cannot make it up. Zuniga and a big nigga. But let's continue. So that all being said, for the sake of clarity, please allow me to repeat this position. Shannon and Gabby engaged in a consensual sexual relationship over a 2-year period. Now, let me just say, this letter, y'all are laughing, y'all are so nefarious. Okay, listen, this letter is basically to give Shannon's side, okay, for anyone that's interested in hearing it, because they had a press conference that people could sign up to listen to and be privy to, okay? So with that all being said, that's why I have this letter, but let's talk about it. Now, it goes on to say, Shannon and Gabby engaged in a consensual sexual relationship over a 2-year period. When she learned that he would not father a child with her, she resorted to extortion. While Shannon was willing to pay her a substantial amount of money to avoid the intimate details of his personal life being exposed, as many high-profile individuals often do when they are being threatened, that is no longer the case. This is a shakedown, pure and simple, and we have the evidence to prove it. And while there are certainly real victims of sexual assault whose stories deserve to be told, Gabby is not one of them. And her attempt to extort Shannon with her false claims only serves to distract from the attention that real abuse victims deserve. Now, you know, this is all very compelling. And just listening to some more of the things that Shannon's attorney said, at the end of the day, you know, the bottom line is this. Whether Shannon is guilty or not, he's still an old fool for messing around with somebody 19 when he was 54, okay? It's disgusting. Now, in my opinion, if you're 54 and you date somebody who's 19, that means you date somebody who's in high school, if nobody knew, okay? And by the way, some 19-year-olds are still in high school, just saying. So with that all been said, I'm just saying, at the end of the day, so Shannon is still a fool, and I don't feel sorry for him. But let me continue. Now, with that all being said, bottom line, Shannon has done nothing wrong and intends to fight back against these malicious lies, not with manufactured defenses or imaginary stories, but with documentary proof and real evidence. He intends to pursue claims against Gabby and all who have assisted her with the dissemination of her fabricated story. Shannon looks forward to his day in court, where he can hold Gabby and all who are working in concert with her accountable for the opportunists that they are. For the avoidance of any doubt, Shannon Sharpe was not terminated for ESPN, but he has elected to step away for a temporary period of time from his duties so that he can focus on his family and frivolous claims filed against him. ESPN agreed with his decision, and Shannon plans to return to his role at ESPN for the NFL season. Okay, well, we already heard that. I don't believe it. I don't think that he elected to step down. I think that ESPN told him to step down, and that we'll just go along with it. You know, you can tell him whatever you want. Tell him you're taking some time off, you need to leave, or we'll just go with that. But you got to go for right now. Because guess what? Disney owns ESPN, honey. Disney owns ESPN. And y'all know if Jonathan Major got fired, lost all his endorsements and gigs, what y'all think's going to happen to Shannon? Okay? What y'all think's going to happen to Shannon? Now, here's the thing. Let's get into some of the background on his lawyer, Lanny J. Davis, because I think he's giving him bad advice. This is just my opinion. But this man is supposed to be a good lawyer. I told you all he defended Bill Clinton. I don't know if that's a good thing to have on your resume, but anyway, Lanny Davis is the founder of the Washington, D.C. law firm Lanny J. Davis and Associates, and a lawyer who counsels individuals, corporations, and others on crisis management and legal issues. He's one of the first to use legal crisis management to solve client problems, operating at the intersection of law, media, and politics. He's handled the cases of public figures from Martha Stewart, Didn't she go to prison? Okay, so much for that, if that's the case he did. But anyway, Martha Stewart to Dan Snyder. Dan Snyder, the perv from Nickelodeon that was doing such things with the kids allegedly. Yeah, the one that was supposedly did that bathtub scene or hot tub scene with Amanda Seals. I'm sorry. I mean, not Amanda Seals. Don't let me start lying. What's that girl's name that played on Nickelodeon? Amanda Bynes, the one who has mental issues allegedly. Yeah. Okay, that's the Dan he's talking about, Dan Snyder. That's the only Dan Snyder I know. But anyway, companies from Whole Foods to Starbucks and political figures from President Bill Clinton to Representative Charlie Rangel. He is admitted to practice in the District of Columbia and Connecticut and before the Supreme Court of the United States and the U.S. Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia Circuit. During the Clinton administration, Lanny served as special counsel to Bill Clinton and was a spokesperson for the president and the White House on matters concerning campaign finance investigations. Really? Did he do anything about that money that Bill Clinton and Hillary got from Haiti? Yeah, all that money that they collected, supposedly, and didn't do anything but build 6 houses, allegedly. But let me continue. So anyway, in 2005, President George W. Bush appointed Davis to serve on the Privacy and Civil Liberties Oversight Board. From 1980 to 1992, he served 3 terms on the Democratic National Committee representing Maryland. During that period, he served on the DNC's executive committee and as chairman of the Eastern Region Caucus. He has penned a Purple Nation column for more than 13 years, which has been published in multiple news publications, and he has been a regular television commentator and a political and legal analyst for MSNBC, CNN, CNBC, and other network television news programs. No wonder he's friends with Don Lemon. He graduated from Yale Law School, where he won the prestigious Thurman Arnold Moot Court Prize and served on Yale Law Journal. Okay, well, he has very good credentials, but I don't know how about him handling this case. Okay, because this is not going good for Shannon. And I think that some of the stuff that he's done thus far, it's not a good look. It's just my opinion. But anyway, okay. So now let's talk about Shannon's defense. Then I'm going to play some audio for you for the interview that he did, where he details how Tony Buzbee straight played them. Okay, those are not the words he used. Those are words I'm using, but that's exactly what Tony Buzbee did if what he says is true. Okay, and we already knew that. We already knew that because didn't I tell you guys already? Because some people were saying, oh, Shannon was going to give her the $10 million and then he changed his mind and got greedy. Okay, that's not what happened. I told you all what happened, and now his lawyer is saying exactly what I already told you. Just remember that you heard it here first, okay? Because people are out here spreading disinformation. The bottom line is that $100 million contract, Shannon had never signed it, but it doesn't matter. The fact that he was even in negotiations to sign it, the fact that he already had been talking about it and on publicly, and people heard about it. Y'all don't think Tony Buzbee heard about that? Y'all don't think the accuser heard about it? Well, of course they did. And that's why they said, hey, we can get away more than $10 million. We can take him all the way to the bank. And that's what they're doing. So please pay attention. But I digress. Now, so let's talk about this here. Shannon Sharpe's explosive legal defense on Michelle Evans. She tried to kill her husband to be with him. So anyway, his legal team denounces the accusations as fabricated narratives. And according to the statement released by Sharpe's litigation counsel, the accusations from the 2 separate individuals, Michelle Evans, who filed a civil complaint against Sharpe without legal representation, and Gabby Zuniga, who allegedly attempted to extort Shannon following a consensual relationship. Now, they say these allegations from Michelle have come back up, and she never had any legal basis for filing these things against Shannon. They say that she has a serious criminal history. And the fact is that Shannon has had no contact with her for many years. And it is our understanding that she is on probation. Okay, now with that all being said, Sharpe's legal strategy, according to the statement, includes, I don't know why people would be divulging their legal strategy. That's just something I wouldn't do. Okay. And I wouldn't have an attorney who was doing that either. Keep the legal strategies to yourself. Okay. I mean, for what are you telling? Includes filing claims against Zuniga and others who assisted her in spreading her story. He plans to defend himself using documentary proof and evidence and all of that. Okay. He intends to pursue claims against Gabby And Shannon looks forward to his day in court, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so, and they keep on reiterating that him leaving ESPN was voluntary. I mean, they're trying to do damage control. That's obvious here. But it looks to me like they're just overdoing it. No, that's my opinion. But listen to this. Shannon is getting dragged all over social media for engaging in what people are saying is race play. Okay? Social media grapples with Shannon Sharpe's Jim Crow and race play. Black folks are struggling over Sharpe allegedly engaging in a racist practice with these white women. So it's been a rough week for sports commentator Shannon Sharpe as the sexual assault lawsuit against him continues to break the internet. There's one aspect of the legal case that has many Black folks weary about throwing Sharpe their support. Ever since his ex-girlfriend accused him of rape, things have gotten real messy. The Jane Doe accuser's real name and OnlyFans account were leaked, and shocking text message threads between the former couple continue to have the internet in shambles. More specifically, Sharpe is catching heat for allegedly engaging in race play. The sexual practice where participants use race to fuel a power imbalance, usually rooted in the history of slavery, which obviously isn't a good look since the podcaster is a Black man and Doe is white. Okay? Now, in fact, many online called out Sharpe after he took to the internet to declare his innocence. Okay, you can't do the Black man angle when you are participating in race play. That's what somebody posted telling him. Okay, after Sharpe repeatedly blamed Doe's attorney for trying to take a Black man down. They're saying, honey, you can't play the race card now. And you know, when you think about it, you really can't. Now you can't sit here and act as though you're oppressed, because clearly that's what Shannon wanted. You see, he clearly wanted to be oppressed by a white person, and that's why he allegedly did what he did. Okay, now you want to sit there and say, oh, he's trying to bring a Black man down? Shannon, please get your arse out of here. Okay. I find it interesting that he wants to refer to himself as a Black man when it's convenient. Now, so anyway, they say they previously reported on the alleged messages between Sharpe and his ex-girlfriend. Now, in the text, Doe allegedly told Sharpe to put a big Black baby in her. Sharpe was even heard on audio allegedly telling Doe, I might choke you in public. Big Black guy chokes small white woman. So another user said, race play is so wild to me. Why are you a slave in your most intimate moments? I mean, it is kind of sick, really, in my opinion. And that's honestly a good question. Black folks are struggling with the idea that a nearly 60-year-old Sharpe was allegedly engaging in a racist practice with a young white woman. Yeah, he's sick. Now, somebody else said doing race play at 57 is crazy because you were born when white people were still actively fighting for segregation and for the right to lynch Black people, especially when you're from the deep South. Yeah, Shannon has self-hate. Other folks detail the real dangers of Sharpe's situation, saying race play is not a kink. Race play is dangerous. Okay, one TikTok user went on to explain the history of race play and how it's rooted in the dangers Black men faced during Jim Crow. Okay, y'all sit up here and try to act like this is okay, and that it doesn't endanger other Black people. It's a lie, she said. Okay, at the end of the day, hold on. Okay, so I'm going to share this so you all can see it. Hold on. This is the TikTok that somebody did about it. Honey, fill us all in about it, honey, because this is all nefarious. Hold on. What's going on here? Hold on, beloveds, trying to see if it's going to, is it going to play or what? Okay, let me try this again. Here we go. Likes up, everyone, please. Like and share. Okay.
Know your history. Race play is not a kink. Race play is dangerous. Many of the people who were unalived by being added to a tree during Jim Crow were in consensual race playing relationships with white people. When those white people were found out, in order to protect themselves from being ostracized from white society by engaging in this behavior, they would turn around and say that the Black person they were engaging in it with essayed them or their wife, which wasn't the case. They were enjoying it. There are people who enjoy having their partner have intercourse with a Black person and pretending like that's ruining her body because they think of your body as something as nasty, dirty, or filthy. So when they were caught, rather than taking ownership that they were a part of a consensual relationship, they turned on the Black person. And this unleashed racialized violence into the Black community.
It absolutely did, for those of you who don't know. And that is why when I was talking about it earlier on the earlier broadcast, that's why I asked if any of you had seen the movie Mandingo. Okay, that movie Mandingo, honey, that came out in the 70s was about this big Black slave who was probably built like Shannon Sharpe. And the guy that played him, I think, was a former NFL football player. I want to say it was Jim Brown. I'm not really sure, but nonetheless. Anyway, he was sleeping with little Miss Ann when Massa would leave. And she got pregnant by him, and Massa found out. It was all nefarious, but it was similar to what Shannon's been doing, okay? And little Miss Joe did want to get pregnant, according to those text messages, allegedly. So anyway, honey, Shannon needs to be ashamed of himself, not just because he's engaging in something so nefarious and so extremely disgusting and sick, okay, that reeks of self-loathing, but the fact that he was doing such with a teenager. 19 years old when it started, and he was 54. Yes, Shannon's disgusted. Now I want to see any of these pervs try to defend it. Okay? Because the only one defending a perv is another perv, as far as I'm concerned. Okay, that's all I got to say about that. All right, so anyway, someone needs to sit down with Shannon Sharpe and say, you too old for this. Your platform is too large and you don't look the way people need to look to get away with some of the behavior you're engaging in. I know that's right with his little ugly self. Please pay attention. Attractive deficient, it's true. Now, with that all being said, they roasted him. They're roasting him online because of what he's been doing. And, this is good. He deserves it. Every bit of it, as far as I'm concerned. Now, I'm not going to say deserves for somebody to be lying on him if, in fact, she's lying. But he does deserve to be dragged, okay, for the stuff he's been doing. This is all just ridiculous. Okay, so anyway, with that all being said, Shannon Sharpe defends his lucrative settlement offer. Shannon Sharpe. Okay, I offered millions to keep intimate details private. For people that want to know why did he offer her a $10 million payout, like I told you all this morning as well. And now he's saying it himself. I mean, it was obvious to me. Some people don't want all their business put out there in the streets, okay? And they don't want to spend that kind of money. But if they think that can help them prevent being embarrassed, everybody knowing their deeper, innermost secrets that they do behind closed doors in the bedroom, well, some people will offer money. Now, that is not, in my opinion, an admission of guilt. Sharpe is explaining why he was willing to give his grape accuser at least $10 million to move forward with her lawsuit, saying it was not a drastic attempt to keep the intimate details from, or it was a drastic attempt to keep the intimate details from his life from going public, not because he did anything wrong. The Hall of Famers legal team released a lengthy statement on Friday addressing a number of topics in one swift motion, most notably the eye-popping settlement offer that was presented to the woman earlier this year. Okay, so Mitchell Schuster, litigation counsel, basically said that he just didn't want to be exposed and didn't want things like that coming out. Now, the bottom line is Shannon says he didn't do anything. Well, we'll be the judge of that, Shannon, after we get the receipts. Now I'm going to go to the audio of his lawyer. I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to put an overlay on here because, as I told you all, I don't have permission to be using this. Let me see here. Okay, so this is, again, Shannon's attorney. And I'm going to go to the timestamp where he talks about, I'm not going to play much. I just want to play the part where he talks about how Buzbee pretty much just played Shannon and him and the judge. Played everybody. That's how Buzbee gets down. Please pay attention. Okay. Hold on. Let me get to the timestamp real quick. Hold on. Okay, here we go. I think it's around.
100% innocent of the charge of rape. That is an outstandingly lying, intentionally willful lie that extorted him to pay money to avoid a public charge of rape. Now he's got to prove himself in court.
Is there anything or something that Shannon, can own in this ordeal? I mean, in September, he had there was a live stream of a sexual encounter that went out, different person, not this woman, but does he maybe need to take inventory of his operations at this moment?
Thanks for that question. I really appreciate it because I have a reputation in this type of media crisis of advising my clients to step up and tell it early, tell it all, tell it yourself, the mantra of a book that I wrote about my White House experience. The answer is yes. He has taken responsibility for the mistake he made about the live stream. He's taken responsibility about this relationship getting to the point where he should have seen the warning signs by her text messages.
She's very young. She was 20 when he met her. I mean, he's 56-year-old man. Like,
excuse me, 20 is an adult. I don't buy that.
Of course, but
I just simply disagree with the assumption that there's any age issue here. So 56-20, 56-40, that is not an issue in my opinion. But I do, and we have had him say on camera, and he has written that he takes responsibility for the mistakes made in this relationship. It has nothing to do with the word rape, which is a vicious, willful lie, a setup with a secret tape edited, and then pure blackmail to try to buy protection for his family and himself. That's the truth. And if you saw him on Instagram live when he posted yesterday, that's a man, if you watch it many times, that's a man telling the truth, but he's very regretful.
Look, I call it like I see it. Listen, the voice, her voice on the tape to me definitely sounds like a woman who knows that she pressed record moments ago. I can tell you that.
Could I interrupt you on that? What we're now getting are these telephone recordings from Mr. Buzbee. This is after he broke off negotiations for this to be put behind Mr. Sharpe without telling anybody, including the retired judge who was mediating and trying the blackmail discussions. We were ready to, they approached us and we were ready to pay the money. And without warning, he filed a lawsuit and went public. And then all of a sudden he's protesting, well, why are they mentioning her name? Well, excuse me. She's accusing my client of rape. I'm going to mention her name.
Yeah.
And her name is Gabriella Zuniga. And Gabriella is Gabby, Carly, and a lot of other aliases on OnlyFans, where she charges men to act out and to role play exactly what she asked my client, Mr. Sharpe, to do in explicit text messages, including put a collar around me. And I won't say on the air the other words that she used to ask him.
Okay, so I'm going to stop it right there. You guys, you already heard the deal. So Buzbee Str8 played them. Okay, please pay attention. They said they had been in negotiations. They were at the negotiation table. They had come to, say they were going to give her $10 million. And so they thought Buzbee was fine with the deal, but oh no. Because when Shannon started talking about that $10 million or that $100 million contract that he was negotiating, that he was going to be hopefully signing for his podcast, well, that's probably a wash now, I'm pretty sure. But nonetheless, when Buzbee and Little Miss Joe heard about that, they probably were like, wait a minute, cha-ching, we can get way more than 10 million. If he's willing to give us 10 million this easily, we can get a whole lot more. He's about to come to another 100 million. So what do you say? Let's go ahead. That's what Buzbee did. Okay, I want you all to pay attention. Buzbee is a snake in the grass, honey. Okay, he's a snake in the grass. He could have just taken that $10 million, but now, Shannon's attorneys are pretty adamant that they have all these proof and receipts of his innocence. We'll have to see. But wouldn't it be so ironic if they actually do have proof and Buzbee actually loses? Oh my God, could you imagine? He could have had 10 million, and if he loses, honey, I know Buzbee will hate that. And then another loss in a row. Okay, after that whole debacle with Jay-Z, honey, I don't think he'd be able to stand it. Okay, I don't think he'd be able to stand it. Now, pay attention because the guy that was talking to the attorney, he asked about the video where Shannon went live on Instagram and was having relations with somebody by the name of Michelle. Well, that was not Michelle Evans Bundy, but that was, I don't know what Michelle that was, but I know what Michelle said it wasn't them. Both Michelle Bundy Evans said it wasn't her, but another woman that Shannon must have had something going with too, by the name of Michelle Beadle, was glad to come out and let everybody know that it wasn't her either. One of these Michelles is lying, if you ask me. One of these Michelles is lying, because how many Michelles did he date? Okay. That's her right there. Now let's hear what she had to say about little old Shannon. Michelle Beadle denies involvement in Shannon Sharpe's viral NSFW Instagram live video. Former ESPN analyst Michelle Beadle jokingly denied being the Michelle name dropped in Shannon's viral Instagram video. Okay, she said that was not her. All right. The name Michelle was audibly heard live, and Sharpe and his podcast co-star or co-host Chad Ochocinco Johnson addressed this name on their show with some frat humor between the two. Sharpe's Instagram faux pas caused quite a ruckus on social media as he immediately became one of the biggest trending topics once fans realized what was going on in the video. His nightcap episode got one of the highest viewers in recent memory as he and his co-host discussed the matter. In the immediate aftermath of the incident, Sharpe came out and claimed that he was hacked. However, he later addressed the situation in the show, stating that he went live on Instagram by accident. See how he lied in the first place, talking about he was hacked and how embarrassed he was of the whole situation. Clearly, Sharpe struggled to cope with the immensity of the situation initially. However, he and his co-host were able to joke about things and make light of the situation in a way that looked like Sharpe was having fun and being able to process the entire happening. As things stand, there has been no word on whether Sharpe will face any professional ramifications for the incident. He's currently working with ESPN, primarily appearing on First Take. Okay, this is old. This is old from back when this all first happened, okay? That was from September of 2024. We know he's not doing any of that now and probably won't be doing it ever again, okay, with all of this that he's got going on, honey. Please pay attention. Now, with that all being said, she said it wasn't her. But you know what's interesting about that? Somebody told me a little something. Somebody told me a little something about Shannon. And I forgot to tell you all this on yesterday. This was an inside scoop. Now, I don't know if it's true or not. But what I do know is it all makes sense. Hold on. Let me just get this up here so I can show you all. Because I said, say what now? Because I don't know anything about this. Okay, y'all know sometimes the queen be slow, honey. I don't be up to date on some of the shenanigans that y'all got going on out here in these streets. But hold on, honey. They said this got everything to do with Shannon having all that sex. Okay, let's get into it. I'm about to pull this up on the screen. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. Okay, here we go. So they told me that video that Shannon did, is this it? Yeah, so they basically told me that video that Shannon did, that he claims he accidentally did, they said he did that on purpose. So people wouldn't think that he was GAY, which I already said that. That's nothing new. But they also said he had another reason. Y'all know anything about this? Do y'all know anything about this? Somebody let me know. Y'all know anything about this? Because they said Shannon takes these. And they also said that he's a spokesperson for them. Okay? Hold on. Let me see if I can pull this up. One's in the chat if you all knew this. One's in the chat if you all knew this. Harder erections in 15 minutes. Say what now? Shannon, now I see why you sitting up here paying for sex. Ones in the chat if y'all knew anything about Shannon being a spokesperson for this, because I had no idea. Okay? I had no idea, but guess what? Hold on. Because I just found it. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. It's all nefarious. Now, hold on. I'm going to put an overlay on here. I'm trying to figure out how I want to do this. I don't want any copyright issues. Okay, so I'm going to put an overlay up here first. Or can I even do it that way? I think I can. Hold on. Okay, now I'm going to share my screen. Y'all see that? Hold on, let me see if I can get the volume on. It must not have any volume, but anyway, with Rose Sparks, guys can get more confidence in bed and more control when it's sexy time, honey. Okay, y'all hear it? Y'all see this here? Shannon. All right, Shannon, now we see why you are freak of the week. Okay, now we see what's really going on here. Please pay attention, honey. I absolutely cannot with Shannon. All right, y'all see that? Truth Brown said, yep, he said it on the show. Okay, I had no idea. Star8 said, I believe the ads run during his nightcap show. Okay. I don't really watch Nightcap. I've probably seen it twice and haven't watched the entire thing, so that's probably why I didn't see it. Thank you, beloved. Truth Brown says, Shannon, a whole other type of gay. Them closet gays be violent to women at times. Well, yeah, I've said that before. The DL men, they're usually pretty nasty to women. That's no lie. Okay? Now, I've done the research. All right. Sophie said, Queen, do you know about his stylist named Hollywood? Yes, honey, of course. Yes, absolutely. And that's why I think he's GAY. Okay, hanging out with Hollywood, honey, at the basketball games and all that. And there was one video I saw when they were sitting at the game, and it was obvious to me that Shannon appeared to be texting Hollywood while they were sitting right beside each other. I wonder what they were saying, honey. I hope it wasn't the same thing him and Gabby was talking about. But anyway, with that all being said, okay, now we got to talk about Diddy. Before we talk about Diddy, for those of you who missed it, let me let y'all hear the audio from the lady in the picture right here, Michelle. But first of all, this lady, Michelle Bundy Evans, or Evans Bundy, this is supposed to be the same person. She looks different in this picture. She looks younger, I guess, and her face was fuller. Does that look like the same person to you all? What y'all think? Supposed to be the same person. Anyway, I digress. Okay, so now with that all being said, for those of you who missed it, I'm going to play the audio of what Michelle Bundy Evans said about him in an interview with Tasha K.
That he asked me to do it. I think that was me. I'll raise my hand up and say that was me.
Okay. And when you say booty play, was so like you put fingers and tongue in his butt?
Yeah.
So you know how to do a prostate massage?
Yeah. So it was all good, and he loved it. And there were times where I wondered if maybe he was bi, but then I would tell myself, no, that doesn't mean he's gay just because he likes his booty being played with. I would admonish myself for thinking that, and I would just let it go.
So do you think you kind of opened up his butt to new experiences?
No, I can't imagine, because he already liked it. I mean, there was no shyness about it. There was no surprise. There was no, he was very comfortable with it, let's just say.
Did you ever put a strap on or anything and peg him?
No, I thought about it, but I didn't.
What you mean you thought about it? What made you think of that, girl? Like,
just because how much he loved his booty being played with. It's like, well, maybe I should do this. But then, I never did.
So you literally had to get up in there and just massage him until he came?
Yeah, pretty much.
And so did he start asking you for it, or he would just kind of signal you and you would know when it was time?
He would signal me and I would know when it was time.
Like, what would be the signal?
He would turn around. He would turn around and either get on all fours, which not usually. Usually he just laid with his belly on the bed.
All fours.
And would spread his legs apart.
Nasty.
Sometimes he would raise his booty up a little bit, but most of the times he was laying down.
And you just went to work.
I went to work. Yep, sure did. He is large, but again, I was with him for so long. I learned how to maneuver with him.
Was he reciprocating? Did he go down on you as well too?
No, not at all. He wouldn't. Sorry to be so adamant, but no is the answer. He was very selfish. He was a very selfish lover.
So he didn't eat your pussy at all?
Not even one time.
Oh, no. Hell no, Shannon, no. I
can't imagine I didn't. I can't imagine that.
So did he require you to play with his butt like every time you guys had sex, or was it occasionally?
I'm sorry, say that again?
Did he require you every time you guys had sex to play with his butt, or was it occasionally?
No, it was all the time. All the time.
Did he douche his ass or something? Did he put water up his ass?
He was immaculately manicured, and he must have, because I didn't get shit on, and he must have prepared. I don't know why he would have a problem with a woman farting on him when he had my shit, excuse the language, all over him. That just doesn't make sense that he would be okay with that, but not a fart. Experiencing what I experienced. I mean, he even told me he's going to make it so no other man wants me while he was raping me. He was saying that. And she said several times he told her he was going to make other guys not want her. It must be a weird thing of his, I don't know. But like I said, I don't want to get into too much of the case because I have to protect the integrity of my lawsuits.
Okay. Well, listen, I appreciate you coming out. I know this is the first time you've done anything like this and spoke about it. You have been handling your stuff in the courts the right way. And so have you gone to?
Okay, so y'all heard that. For those of you who missed it, thank you, C-Stan, for your contribution, beloved. Talking about Bucci Man Shannon, honey. I know that's right. Okay, now y'all heard what she said. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, because of course Shannon and his people are saying she's lying and that she basically filed that lawsuit herself because she couldn't even get an attorney to file it. So I don't know whether she's telling the truth or not, but I find it interesting because she did say that Shannon was talking about he don't like nobody farting around him, but he didn't mind her having dookie back on him. Okay, now please pay attention because y'all remember this.
Everything. I was having sex with this
Hold
young lady.
on. Paint the whole picture now. Don't cheat me.
Yeah, don't cheat me either.
Okay.
I want details.
We're having
details.
Sex. We're having sex.
Position?
Yeah.
You know I'm the bad
hey. Oh Lord Jesus. She ain't do it, but she she did.
Let's go, bro.
No, she did.
That is out. Oh, I swear. And what I'm about to say is 1,000%
Talk to me, baby.
So she passed gas.
Sir.
She said, excuse me. I said, that's all right. Do it. Yes, she passed gas.
Okay. Yeah. Then she looked back and said, excuse me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How she do it? Time. She said, excuse me. I said, that's all right, baby. I generally make them shit.
How she do it?
Hey, she said, excuse me. I said, that's all right, baby. I generally make them shit. Ooh. It kept going. I'm with it. I'm hell with it, time. I'm hell with it, time.
Hey. Come on, baby.
Y'all nasty, man.
They talk.
Both of y'all nasty, dog.
Hey.
I swear. I swear.
No, I know you ain't nasty.
Fist bump.
No, don't do that. Don't
Fist
don't
bump.
be.
Yeah.
Y'all ain't no good. That ain't Shannon. That's not that.
Huh?
Don't do that. Y'all,
Hey.
y'all man.
What you want? What you want me to? You want what
I
you
like
want me to
that.
say?
First of
I
all,
like
for her
that.
to look back and say, "Excuse me," she just
Hold
should
on.
have rolled
Hey.
with it.
Hey, I gotta write that
Nasty,
down,
dog.
there, boy.
You nasty, man.
I gotta write that down.
Don't even write that down. That's
Hey,
nasty,
so-
dog.
Yes, sir.
Time we had a question. I think the 4 pills.
First of all, Ocho Cinco needs to sit down somewhere and talk about he's taking notes. He got to write it down. And Dion looked so disappointed and disgusted. Okay. Now the question is, why is Shannon sitting there acting like a fart is so bad, but he's doing all of that nasty stuff? He is so disgusted, honey, and despicable to boot. Okay. It's true. Now, with that all being said, let's talk about the diddler. Because Lord have mercy, honey. Diddy is in a pickle. Please pay attention. And C-Stan, thank you again, beloved, for your contribution. Peace, love, and blessings. Okay, so here's the thing. So they're saying Diddy has been accused of forcing a victim to undergo some sort of medical procedure. Even though they don't say what the medical procedure was, Diddy, according to prosecutors, they claim that he may have forced alleged victim to undergo medical procedure. This was reported by TMZ. So Diddy may have forced an alleged victim in his federal case to undergo a medical procedure. At least that's what prosecutors are claiming. Now, the rap mogul sat in a New York City courtroom Friday when the question of how to handle certain evidence that the prosecution plans to present regarding an unknown medical procedure came up. A federal prosecutor told the judge these alleged procedures go directly to the degree of control that Diddy had over her, consent to specific sexual acts. It's relevant to these questions on coercion. You know what I bet it is? They're not saying what it is, but I'm willing to bet you that it's Cassie's breast surgery. Reggie said it. There you go, Reggie. That's exactly what I'm thinking. Because remember, Dr. Frank Ryan, who died under very suspicious circumstances after he got into it with Diddy, because Diddy didn't like the way he did Cassie's breast job and wanted him to redo it the same day or the next day. And the man wanted to wait because he felt like that would be too soon. But Diddy pretty much forced him to do it, making threats and whatnot, allegedly. So I believe absolutely that it was Cassie's medical procedure. Now, the judge asked if the feds were alleging the procedure was part of the trafficking charge Diddy's facing, and the prosecutor said it was related. You know what? I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I believe Cassie got the boob jobs because she wanted it and Diddy just paid for it. But of course, Diddy didn't like them because they were too big and it was obvious they were fake. And he wanted them smaller. But I think Cassie wanted those boob jobs too. Okay? I absolutely do. That's just my opinion. So anyway, goes on to say, see, the feds are just trying to throw stuff at the wall to see what sticks because they know darn well they don't have a good case. I keep telling y'all that, be that as it may, they don't have a good case. And so now they're getting desperate. Please pay attention. Okay, because now they're throwing in all this stuff at the last minute. If they were going to talk about this, why didn't they say this a long time ago? Why are they coming in at the 11th hour trying to come up with new charges and new BS? And this is not giving Diddy's defense team enough time, in my opinion, to catch everything that they're throwing at them. Okay. And then remember what I told you all this morning. They said that they don't want Diddy's team to say anything about Diddy doing stuff in the community, whether it was charitable donations or anything like that. They also want the judge to bar them from cross-examining the witnesses about any of their criminal activity, even if it was a DUI. Okay, don't want them talking about any other violence, domestic violence, or assaults that they may have been involved in. If they have any problems with illegal substances, how the hell is Diddy's team supposed to defend him? Now, y'all, I'm not caping for Diddy because I don't like Diddy's behind, but I'm telling y'all, how are they supposed to defend him if that's the case? Panther Strike said, Queen, you said they were stacking the deck from the very beginning of this federal prosecution. Yes, beloved, I absolutely did, okay? Mel says, and thank you, beloved. Mel says, exactly, Queen. They offered him a plea bargain and he rejected it. Exactly. Exactly. And that's also how you know they don't have a strong case, because they even offered him a plea bargain more than once, from what I'm told. Okay, so anyway, honey, let's continue because this is all nefarious. So again, we don't know which of the alleged victims is being referred to or what this alleged procedure entailed. This is what TMZ is saying. I'm telling y'all it's probably Cassie. So Cassie is scheduled to testify against Diddy at his trial, as are 3 other women using various pseudonyms who all have made allegations against the rapper. Now, questions regarding the surveillance video of Diddy beating up Cassie also came up during the hearing, with the judge ruling that the video will be allowed at trial. Okay, so that video of Diddy beating Cassie's behind, they're going to absolutely have that allowed at trial, which I already had figured that out by now, and I'm sure you had too, because we've been talking about that. Now, the judge also asked if the prosecutor could address issues with the video, like the ones Diddy's expert witness cited in a recent legal filing. Remember, he said it had been altered. Okay, so a 2016 surveillance video obtained by CNN shows Sean Diddy Combs violently grab, shove, drag, and kick his then girlfriend Cassie Ventura during an altercation at the hotel in California. Now, the prosecutor responded that the people who filmed the surveillance clip on an iPhone will testify, so they plan to introduce the version of the video. Oh, okay. Do y'all hear this? The people who actually filmed the surveillance video are going to testify. But they said it was filmed on an iPhone. The person who filmed the surveillance clip on an iPhone will testify, so they plan to introduce that version. Hold on. Wait a minute. What the hell are they talking about? It was filmed on an iPhone. That video supposedly came from hotel surveillance footage, right? What are they talking about an iPhone all of a sudden? What is going on here? I'm just like, okay. Anyway, prosecutors and the defense also argued about audio from a 911 call related to how Diddy allegedly broke into one of his victims' homes in Los Angeles back in 2011, though no decision on that audio was made today. First of all, what do y'all need that old-ass audio for? That's past the statute of limitations. You can't do anything about it. Now, the worst-case scenario is they could bring that audio in to try to show that Diddy has a propensity for violence or being nefarious or whatever reason, but at the end of the day, if Diddy gets convicted, they're going to use that against them on appeal. They're going to come back on appeal and say that it wasn't fair. They introduced prejudicial evidence. They wouldn't let them cross-examine the witnesses about their previous criminal history, if they had any type of substance or alcohol abuse, issues or whatever. They're going to bring all this stuff up. So here's what I'm going to tell you now. At the end of the day, either way, it looks like Diddy's probably going to get off. Because even if they convict him, the prosecution, they're setting up everything the defense needs for a retrial upon appeal. Just like Harvey Weinstein, they've already said that somebody that doesn't have a darn thing to do with the criminal case, who's witness to Diddy's prior bad acts, can come in and testify. Now, the judge denied 3 of the people that they wanted to testify, but is allowing in 1. And that's all they need. That's all they need is one person who's going to come in there, has nothing to do with the criminal case. They're not involved in it other than they've been asked to come and talk about something Diddy did to them in the past. And if what they come in there and talk about has anything to do with sexual assault, which Diddy's not even accused of, Diddy's going to get a retrial just like Harvey Weinstein. I keep telling y'all that y'all better listen to the queen, honey, okay? Please pay attention. Now, that all being said, they say that Diddy's trial is fast approaching despite his attempts to get it delayed. A judge ruled it will begin on May the 5th as planned. So Diddy has pled not guilty to all 5 charges he's facing: 2 counts of trafficking, 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution, and 1 count of racketeering. And the jury has not yet been selected, but jury selection supposedly starts May the 5th. Okay, but it looks like they may be shown the infamous freak-off tapes if the proposed jury questionnaire is any indication. Okay, yeah, because they've been asking questions about, on the questionnaire, they have a question for the jurors pertaining to whether or not they have a problem viewing that type of footage or whatever. Okay, so they're likely going to show all of this, honey. This is all nefarious. But anyway, here's the thing. Now, here's the kicker to it all. I want y'all to pay attention, honey, because Diddy's got his strategy already planned out. Lawyers reveal they'll claim that Sean Diddy Combs was a swinger, not a rapist, as he turns down plea deal from feds. Okay, Diddy said, hell no, I won't go. Okay, so Sean Diddy Combs was merely a swinger, not the depraved sex fiend the feds have made him out to be. His attorney plans to argue at this upcoming racketeering trial. Okay, Combs' defense lawyer, Mark Agnifilo, made the revelation Friday at a pretrial hearing for the disgraced music mogul in Manhattan federal court. There is a lifestyle, call it swingers or whatever you will, that he thought was appropriate because it was common. This is what Mark Agnifilo said. Many people think it's appropriate because it's common. Now, the defense will cite Combs' purported swinger proclivities to argue he did not intend to commit crimes when he hired male escorts to have relations with his partners at drug-fueled days-long freak-off SEX marathons that prosecutors have said were coercive. The I'll Be Missing You rapper's attorneys also noted that they won't argue that he was targeted by a selective prosecution because he's a black man. They're not going to play the race card good because it ain't going to fly. Now, or bring up prominent white people who have hired SEX workers and not been charged with crimes. Combs' lawyers have previously claimed that no white person has been indicted on a similar transportation to engage in prostitution charge, aka the Mann Act. Okay? So and I told you all the history of that. It was made because of a black man. All right. So one of 5 raps that the embattled hip hop impresario faces. Okay, that's one of 5, and even brought up ex-New York Governor Eliot Spitzer's infamous prostitution scandal in court papers. Now, they say Spitzer resigned from office in 2008 after revelations emerged that he'd hired escorts. But prosecutors in the Southern District of New York, which is now handling the Combs case, chose not to bring charges against him. Well, isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? Okay. Prosecutors always seem to conclude that the SEX lives of black men are bad enough to deserve punishment. When someone like Eliot Spitzer uses prostitutes, federal prosecutors never find aggravating factors. Attorney Alexandra Shapiro wrote this in a March court filing. Now, the 55-year-old Bad Boy Records founder faces up to life in prison on racketeering and S-trafficking charges, with prosecutors alleging he forced his lovers into freak-offs and ran his company as a criminal enterprise. Witnesses taking the stand at an 8 to 10 week trial set to begin with jury selection May 5th will give graphic testimony about years worth of beatings, drug-fueled coercive SEX marathons, and multiple rapes. This is what prosecutors have said in court papers. Now, the feds revealed for the first time Friday that Combs rejected a plea offer made in advance of his trial. Federal prosecutor Madison Spicer disclosed that the deal was offered, but did not offer specifics. Now, Combs' ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, is expected to testify against him, along with 3 other alleged victims who will use pseudonyms when they take the stand. Judge Aaron Subramaniam ruled Friday that jurors will also be allowed to watch disturbing video of Combs kicking and dragging Ventura in the hallway of the Intercontinental Hotel in Century City, Los Angeles, March the 5th of 2016. Now, with that all being said, Combs' camp had claimed that the video should be kept out of the trial, alleging that CNN substantially altered and then destroyed the original footage before broadcasting it. But the judge, in one of several rulings handed down during the 90-minute hearing, noted that the feds have 2 witnesses prepared to testify that the video is authentic. Now, Combs, who is being held without bail in a Brooklyn lockup, sat calmly at the defense table in beige jail garb and black-rimmed glasses during the proceeding, occasionally jotting down notes in a notepad and whispering to lawyers on each side of him. Honey, Diddy's getting ready for war. Y'all hear it? Do y'all hear this? Diddy is getting ready for battle, honey. Diddy, the time is coming. The clock is ticking. Who shall reign victorious? Diddy or the prosecution? What do y'all say? What do y'all say? Do y'all think Diddy's going down for the count? Or do y'all think Diddy's going to rise from the ashes like a phoenix? I have questions. Mama Joyce said, Queen, you got your passport and bags packed because Diddy is coming home. Hell no. Hell no. Don't y'all let Diddy up out of there. I'd have to leave for real. Y'all think it's a game? Do y'all think it's a game? Oh, that was a good one, honey. But bags will be packed and waiting by the door just in case it all goes bad for the Queen, honey. Please pay attention. Reggie Reggie said, not rise from the ashes. He just might, honey. You never know. I mean, Diddy said, can't nobody hold him down. Y'all know the rhyme. Okay. Oh, my goodness. Nubian King said, Diddy can still pay his way to freedom. This dude ain't broke, y'all. No, he isn't. He absolutely isn't. And here's the thing. He isn't broke, but he also still has the goods. Okay. Diddy has freak off tapes, not the ones that Cassie gave the feds. Diddy has the real tapes. Okay, please pay attention. I've been telling y'all, Diddy has those tapes, and Diddy is holding the cards. All right? Diddy's holding the cards, honey. And that's just what it is. So we'll see how this all pans out. Diddy didn't want that plea deal. He said, oh, hell no, I'm walking up out of here. Plea deal for what? Okay. Wasn't happening. Now, with that all being said, I think that's all I have for you all for right now. Let me just make sure that I didn't leave out anything. Diddy's S crimes trial. Prosecutors can show Cassie video. Okay, this is basically telling us the same thing. Okay, so yeah, I think that's it for today, guys. All right. So anyway, honey, what do y'all think? Hold on. Panther Strike said, Queen, that is what will save him, the master freak off tapes. Yeah, they might save him, or they could have him ending up like you know who. Jeffrey Epstein, honey. Please pay attention. This is all nefarious. Diddy in there stomping around saying, I dare y'all to lock me up. You mean while he's already locked up? Mel said he better hope Gene Deal don't testify, his ex-bodyguard. Okay? Well, here's the thing. I'm wondering how many people are going to testify. This is going to be interesting, honey. This is going to be so juicy. I can hardly wait. They got something on Diddy. We just don't know all the facts. They didn't do all that for nothing. You know, that could be the case, but here's the thing. I bet you what they don't have on Diddy is some tapes with these elite people that they're trying to cover for. I bet they don't have that. I bet they don't have that. Okay. You know, and even if they, and here's the thing, we already know how none of that stuff ever came out during the Epstein trial. It's going to be the same thing during this one. They're going to show the tapes that Cassie gave them, and Cassie's going to say that it wasn't consensual, that she didn't want to do it, that she was made, forced, and coerced. And then she's going to say, when she gets cross-examined, see, the prosecution part's going to be easy for Cassie. They're going to say, Mrs. Cassandra Ventura, were you in a relationship with Mr. Sean Combs? And she's going to say yes. And they're going to say, how long were you in that relationship? She's going to say about 10 years. And during the time that you were in this relationship with Mr. Sean Combs, was he physically, at any time, physically or verbally violent with you? Abusive, perhaps? Did he make you engage in acts that you didn't want to engage in? Now, they're going to ask her these questions, not all at once, but I'm just saying. And these questions will be easy to answer until the defense comes up there and says, Miss Cassandra Ventura, so you were in a relationship with Mr. Sean Combs for a whole decade. And you say that you two engaged in freak-offs where you'd hire S workers to come into the bedroom with you. Now, who was in charge of finding these S workers? That's where it's all going to start right there. Cassie's going to start stuttering and stammering. Watch. Okay, just watch. Pay attention. Now, like I said, I'm going to have somebody inside the courtroom giving me all the scoop in real time. So that all being said, the bottom line is they're going to try to eat Cassie alive because they're going to try to pin all this like, oh, this is what you wanted. This is, and I'm going to tell you something else I thought about today too. I was online and I was looking for a picture of Diddy and Cassie to put on the screen. And I like this one because Cassie looks so beautiful. I loved when she had her hair shaved like that. But here's the thing. When I was looking for a picture of Cassie and Diddy to put on the screen, you know what I saw all over the internet? I'm going to show you what I saw. And it's the same thing the defense is going to show to the jury. All I had to do was type in Cassie and Diddy. Type in Cassie and Diddy. Go to images. And here's what pops up. Now, You see all these pictures of Cassie and Diddy. We know there's a lot of them all over the internet. But what do you see? In many of these pictures, Cassie looks extremely happy. She looks like she's having the time of her life. She looks like a lady in love. That's all I'm saying. Now, of course, there's a couple of videos I saw where she did look so thrilled. But nonetheless, don't you think the defense is going to try to show these pictures and all that? But I'm going to need them to, while they're showing these pictures, to make sure that they show this one. Okay? Make sure they show this one right here with Cassie with that fat lip and that bandage on her head. Make sure y'all show that one, Mr. Mark Agnifilo. Okay, while you're at it. Okay? I'm just saying. So anyway, yeah, Diddy's in for the battle of his life. With that all being said, I cannot wait to see how this all turns out. Okay? Good Vibe says, I think she'll probably say she was coerced with that as well. Like if she didn't do it, she would get beat up. So she did it out of fear for her safety and what he might do. Right. I believe that, beloved. I absolutely believe that. Okay. Thank you, Nicole, beloved, for your super sticker donation. I appreciate you. Peace, love, and blessings. Now, I absolutely believe she's going to do that, beloved. She's going to have to. But, hold on. Casey says she do, and they are listening to you, Queen, to use your talking points. She sure do, and they're listening to you, Queen, to use your talking points. You think so, Casey? Well, let me not help Diddy any. But with that all being said, I'm going to conclude the broadcast. Listen, this is going to be very interesting. It's a roller coaster ride, okay? If there's been many twists and turns with a Diddy debacle and now with Shannon as well. Shannon, we'll see how this turns out. But, you know, to me, Shannon looks guiltier than Diddy for some of this stuff because they have audio of him saying stuff. All we have with Diddy, now we know Diddy's been nefarious for a long time. I'm saying that. But really, what does the prosecution really have on Diddy? I think that they got more on Shannon than they actually got on Diddy. That's just my opinion. But of course, Shannon's not facing criminal prosecution. He's just embarrassed and facing a civil lawsuit where he's going to have to shell out about $50 million, okay, in my opinion. All right. Truth Brown says Shannon's going down. I absolutely believe it. I absolutely believe it, okay? Shannon just made a fool of himself. This is something that could have totally been avoided, okay? This could have totally been avoided. All right, so anyway, Isley says she was being smart, smiling. She's seen what happened to Kim and others. Kim was the mother of the children. What would have happened to her if she didn't go along with the program? Well, you know, you could say that, beloved, but here's the bottom line. In some of those pictures, Cassie was smiling because she was actually happy, okay? No matter what anybody says, the fact of the matter is Cassie didn't stay with Diddy for 10 years out of fear. There's no way she stayed with Diddy for 10 whole years out of fear. Cassie stayed with Diddy for all that time, partially due to fear, I do believe that, but also because Diddy has money. He's a billionaire, okay? And she thought he was going to boost her career, even though he only gave her one album, but he signed her to a 10-album deal. That was motivation for her to stick around. The album deal, the money, the lifestyle, the fame, all of that, honey. Let's not just act like she stayed there because she was so scared for 10 years. No, she wasn't. No, she wasn't. And yes, she did see what he did to Kim, and she chose to date him anyway. Okay? You don't think she knew Diddy was beating Kim's arse before she got with him? Okay? We all heard those rumors back then. Okay? So at the end of the day, I'm just saying, bottom line is, some of this stuff Cassie was complicit in. That's just the facts. And the defense is going to try their damnedest to prove it. Okay? I deal with reality, logic, and facts, not feelings and opinions, because our feelings really don't matter when it comes to the facts. Okay? That's all I'm saying, beloved. She will say that she was coerced and all that stuff. And in some cases, I'm sure she was. But she wasn't always coerced, okay? She wasn't always coerced, all right? So with that all being said, and here's another thing, just for y'all's FYI, I really think, and I thought this from day one, that Cassie's husband, Alex, is the one who told her to sue Diddy so they can live off Diddy's money. That's just what I think. Now, y'all get mad if you want. that doesn't negate the fact that Diddy did a whole lot of low down stuff to Cassie and that she likely deserved the money. But I think that was his idea to sue Diddy, not hers. Okay, I think that was Alex Fine's idea. Okay, I really do. I really do. And we can already see from Cassie dealing with Diddy that she's somebody who's likely easily manipulated or persuaded. Okay, someone who probably doesn't think for herself. Okay, so I absolutely think she sat there and told Alex all of that stuff that Diddy did, and he was like, we ought to sue his ass. You need to sue his ass, okay? There was a look back window. The opportunity was there. They called Diddy's team and said that they were going to write a tell-all book. Or you can pay up. And so the insurance company decided to settle. Okay? With that all being said, Mel said Diddy introduced Cassie to Alex. I know. He was both of their trainers. I know. And like I've said before, Diddy probably wouldn't expect Cassie to be cheating on him with Alex or messing around with him or even be attracted to him, because Diddy probably thought that Cassie only had eyes for him or for black men, period. Because before Diddy, she was dating Ryan, what's the guy's name? Ryan Kelly. What's that guy's name? Y'all know who I'm talking about. The Cassie was dating. I can never. Ryan Leslie. Before Diddy, she was dating Ryan Leslie. So he probably thought she was only looking at black men, honey. Okay. Truth Brown said, I agree with that, Queen. Thank you, beloved. All right. Sandra said the dealer thought he was king. So you know he did. Juju said, I believe it. Okay. So with that all being said, we'll see how it all turns out, honey. But I'm just telling y'all, be prepared. Okay. Because Diddy's already getting his appeal together. And I promise you that. Diddy and his lawyers, they're already planning their appeal in case he does get convicted. But I don't think Diddy believes he's going to get convicted. That's why he didn't take that plea deal. See, y'all talking about the prosecutors got something that we don't know. So does Diddy. I bet you that. So does Diddy. Okay, please pay attention. Because here's the thing. If Diddy didn't have something, Diddy might have already turned up like Jeffrey Epstein. Okay? I told y'all Diddy has those tapes, the real tapes, and nobody knows where they are but him. Maybe his attorney knows, one of his attorneys. But the feds damn sure don't know. And that's what they want. Okay? So with that all being said, I love you all to life. Okay, I hope you all enjoy the rest of this beautiful day. Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. And I will be live tomorrow, okay, early tomorrow, maybe mid-morning to afternoon. And also, if you follow the spiritual channel, I did do a live on there today. And I also posted something for the members, okay? And you don't want to miss it. Okay, it's a masterclass. So that I did previously for the higher frequency members, but if it is posted for everybody to see now. Okay, so y'all can check that out. Okay, so anyway, I love you all to life. Enjoy your strong end, not the weekend, leaving you in a weakened state of mind, and do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. Okay, I love you all to life, and I will talk to you all again soon. Until next time, peace.
Gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunsa. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. That's See right. A bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks.
Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got